Hey guys, Skylar here from the Mint Change You Can Wear. And today what I'm going to be doing is reviewing these Delrin resin ball bearings for you. I got them a couple weeks ago and decided to run them through their paces because I've heard a lot of people talking about them. So I've heard a lot of really good things about them, and I've also heard some bad things about them. So I figured, I'd get them, try them for a couple weeks, and then let everyone know what I found. So basically, what I've found is they're generally speaking really good, but there is some drawbacks to them. So we're going to go ahead and get into that now. So the first thing you're going to notice about these ball bearings is that there's some marks all over them. Go ahead and disregard that. That was me being kind of stupid. So what I'd found out when I first got them, I started just pressing away like I would with a normal $half, and there's a sharp edge on the inside of the hole where you punch the coin, and when I started pressing it into that, it was creating marks inside the bearings. So anyway, it took me about 12 to realize, okay, this isn't that they're junky, it's just because I have to smooth out that hole in the ring before I get started. So there's that. Actually, a couple days later, I was watching a video by Jason Works, and if you guys haven't seen his YouTube channel, I really recommend you go check him out. He's a really great coin ring maker, good quality, and he has a lot of really great pro tips that he's been putting out lately. So check him out, and yeah, highly recommend him. But anyway, he had a video that said, that you should be doing that before you get started. So if I would have watched his video first, I probably would have saved myself all these marks on my bearings. Other than that, they work great. This smaller one here, I actually have probably done several hundred rings with it, and it still works really good. This larger one, though, didn't make it quite as far. So I probably, got through a couple days, maybe 3-4 days, something like that. Maybe about 100 or 200 rings before I ended up having problems with it. And you can see here that it's got that indentation in the middle of the bearing, and that was caused because I was pressing it into a $half and I got about the halfway point of this bearing, and then these have a little bit of give to them, so whenever it got in there it gave and it got stuck, and then once it got stuck, it's larger on the outside than it was in the middle because of the way the bearing squeezed, and when I pressed it back out, it ruined the bearing. So that's my main problem with them. If I had one single problem, it would be that they have a little bit of give to them, and that's going to create issues. I don't like buying things twice, and that's probably why I really wouldn't use these bearings generally, because I don't, if it's going to work good, I really wouldn't be upset spending a lot of money on something that was going to work great. But if they're going to, have problems for me, I would just avoid it. So now that being said, I do make a lot of rings, so if you're not going to make quite as many rings, these probably would work really well for you. Or if you don't mind buying them a couple times, if they do have a problem, then they still work great. They're a wonderful tool. I just much rather have the steel bearing because they work better and they never ever have a problem. So I know what a lot of people are saying is that they really leave marks on the inside of your rings, but actually I think that's quite overblown. I've done it both ways for a while now, and really, the steel bearings don't hardly leave any marks on the inside of especially $half. But if you were really concerned about it and you wanted to use the steel bearings, just put a piece of tissue paper, or toilet paper or something in there as you press it, and you won't have any problems. So you could do that. But don't let me scare you off of these too. They're really easily available, and they do work good. So if you're getting into coin ring making, don't be scared to buy these. They should be good most of the time. But like I said, there was one particular person I talked to that said they bought them, and right out the bat they had one just shatter on them when they went to go press it. So I'm sure that had to be some sort of a manufacturing defect or something. But so there is the review on them. Now I got my kit, and this is this kit here. It's actually missing one. I sent one to somebody, a friend of mine, who was needing to do quarters, and they didn't have a bearing, so that was the one that goes right here. But this one works pretty good for Morgan dollars. This is the one I would use for the larger ball bearing in my $half video. Like I said, that's a smaller one that I'd use in the $half video. And I'm missing the size that actually does the quarters. And these smaller ones you can use for, dimes, nickels, smaller coins. So I got mine from this company here, Tool Supply, and they have an eBay store. They're on Amazon, and I think they have their own website here, bearingballstore.com. So I got them for $16 for the whole kit. Really good deal. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I'll actually put a link in my description for his eBay listing. And he actually does a lot of bearings too, so you can get steel bearings from him also. And I was going to message him and ask him about putting together a little kit just like this with the steel ones. And if he does that, I'll go ahead and put a description or a link in my description box for that also. But if you don't want to buy them online, where I get my steel ball bearings, where I have got them, I've only bought them once a couple years ago, but they were at a Napa auto parts store here locally that I have. And if you can't find them, like an auto parts store or even a machine shop, sometimes will have them. If you can't find them locally like that, then this would be your next best bet, is going to talk to this guy. So that's it, guys. That's my short review on the Delrin resin bearings. Don't let me scare you off of them. They are good, but there are some drawbacks. So just be aware of the drawbacks before you get started. All right, thank you, guys.